Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 1998 Represent. In this episode, we are taking a look at System of a Down's first solo album. It's just a self-titled album, System of a Down. Bring up my notes here for it. So this album was released June 30th, 1998. So everybody, I believe, probably started more recognizing them or hearing their music a few years later when they came out with their second album, Toxicity, which is, I think, probably a more well-known album. This album, and Toxicity was the first album I heard from them, and I think up to that point I had heard Toxicity, or in 2001, heard some of Toxicity, and didn't listen to this album like in its entirety until just like a couple weeks ago, and I've played it a few times just to kind of get ready for this episode, and it's a pretty solid album overall. They've only released, I believe, 5 albums from 1998 and through 2005. So 2005 was their last studio album. I think the band is still together, but they haven't put anything else out, in quite a long time. But this album is really good. There's like a really, like, I don't know if it's a chord progression, but there's like a little, it's like it's that kind of like effect in the very first song, and then it just dives right into the just heavy guitars and the kind of loud vocals from Serj Tankian, and the album is pretty good overall. Comes in at about 44 minutes, I think, a little over 40 minutes. But anyway, some more notes I have taken, which is it went gold in February of 2000. And then their next album, which is Toxicity, came out in 2001, and that ended up, I believe, going double platinum. So obviously did much better than their first album. First album's still really good, though. This album cover, which is this hand, is from a 1928 anti-fascist poster. It's from the German Communist Party. And I think the caption on it, I don't think the caption's on the album cover, but it says, "A hand has 5 fingers. With these 5, grab the enemy." And then they kind of took that and changed it a little bit on the back album cover, where it said, "The hand has 5 fingers, capable and powerful, with the ability to destroy as well as create." And we're going to take a look at some of the other bits of this album. We'll go through the track list and what have you. We're going to take a look at the reception of it. So it says the reception is received critical acclaim when it came out, and it said it's an excellent starting point for this band. And then it's featured in the book 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die, and it was also included in a list by Loudwire, it's in the best metal debut albums at number 22. There's a couple different releases of this album. I think we're just going to go off the original release. So there's looks like 13 tracks, and it goes, what's the length? 40 minutes basically. Produced by Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin, who is an iconic record producer, producing like tons of albums over like a 40-year period at this point, like since like the 80s. So many albums produced by him. This is just another kind of notch in his belt here. But back to our track list. Track 1, we have Sweet Pea. It's Suite, and then so not like a sweet pea, but Sweet Pea. Track 2 is No. Track 3 is Sugar. Track 4 is Suggestions. Track 5 is Spiders. Track 5 is Devil, but it's Devil, so the Devil, or maybe D Devil. Not really sure how it's pronounced. Track 7 is Soil. Track 8 is War, and that's War with a question mark. Track 9 is Mind. Track 10 is Peephole. Track 11 is, what's it called? Cubert, but it's spelled Cuebert. Track 12 is Darts. And track 13 is Pluck. It's an acronym, and it's Politically Lying, Unholy, Cowardly Killers. And then there's a couple different songs on the Japanese edition, which include a song called Marmalade at track 14, and Storage. I'm not sure, it has a bunch of umlauts in it at track 15. And then there's a limited edition bonus CD, which includes the track 1 of that is Sugar, which is a live version of that, a live version of War, again, War with a question mark, another live version of Sweet Pea and a live version of No. So this is again just a really good kind of jumping on point for this band. Like I said, they have only released, I believe it's 5. Let me actually take a look at the discography really quickly here. See if I can find the discography. Yeah, so their discography starts in 1998, ends in 2005. So in 1998, they have System of a Down, which is this album. Not track. Album 2 is Toxicity, a few years later in 2001. Um, CD or album 3 is a year after that, called Steal This Album, which from what I was reading it's a point of contention between fans because it's like, is it an album? Is it more like an EP? I guess they're counting it as a studio album here. And then album 4 is Mesmerized in 2005, and then another album, Hypnotize, also that same year. So they haven't done anything since then, but this is definitely, I guess they're calling the genre is new metal. To me, it's like metal is metal. I don't really go into like worrying about too much about the various like subgenres of it or just music in general. But this album, definitely check it out. Definitely check out Toxicity. Those are the 2 albums I've heard. I haven't heard the other albums, but this album and Toxicity is probably their best one. But this one is really close, in my opinion, to Toxicity. Just like the energy is there, the loud, frantic kind of guitars are there. Serj Tankian's voice or vocals are just amazing. The actual lyrics are kind of pretty good as well, pretty thoughtful. I think like if you like read the lyrics and go into like further detail about them. So that is this episode of System of a Down's debut album. We'll be back again. I think this back in a few days. We'll probably be covering. Let's see. So we did Garbage. We did Devil Dice. We did that. I think we're going to be doing a game next because yeah, we did the Mortal Kombat video, which is kind of like a TV show / movie. We did this album for System of a Down. And we'll probably be doing a game of some kind next time. Not sure what game we'll be playing or discussing, but we'll figure that out as it comes up. That's going to do it for now. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Thanks again for watching. Take care. Have a good one.